Hello, Covenant family. I bring you warm greetings from our sister church, the Hindustani Covenant Church. Recently, I was in Pune, India, enjoying friendship with some of our partners and being amazed by all that God is doing through our shared work. During this trip, I visited the Home of Hope, where women who've been rescued from sex trafficking live and where they're learning new skills and are reminded of their worth and their value. Many of you have used the communion wafers made by these women. Home of Hope lives into its name as a hope-filled place. I also visited the brothels of the red light district to see the work of the Hindustani Covenant Church as they reach out to women whose lives are still impacted by those who dehumanize and abuse them. Many have been unwittingly betrayed into these circumstances by family members or friends, and now they have nowhere to return. It's a difficult place to visit, but there is hope as Hindustani Covenant Church consistently shows up, building relationships of trust and working to rescue as many as possible who've been caught in a treacherous situation. We also visited the Rag Pickers Project, located in the overflowing garbage landfills of Mumbai, where families live and children spend time picking through mounds of trash for anything that might have value. We saw how the Hindustani Covenant Church was entering this difficult place to provide for needs, to educate children who otherwise would not receive an education, and to hear from the children themselves who had no hope for the future, no vision for what could be, who are now dreaming about what they might do with their lives. There were so many places to visit where the love of Christ is being experienced through his church. What a privilege to partner with the Hindustani Covenant Church. I have so many more stories I could share, but this experience reiterated how important it is to be present with one another. And with that in mind, I want to invite you to Gather 2025 in Orlando, Florida, where we will celebrate 140 years as a denomination. We've invited presidents and leaders from our sister denominations around the world. We'll have opportunities to learn from each other, to worship together, to strengthen our relations, and to be inspired by our shared mission and to be present to one another. It will be a historic celebration you do not want to miss. As I've returned to the States, it's been sobering to hear some of the recent developments that impact vulnerable people among us: immigrants, refugees, the hungry and impoverished around the world. May we be people who pray desperately for those who are struggling, hurting, and living in fear. May we demonstrate compassion for our neighbor, and may we be people who advocate for God's justice in this world. We are followers of Jesus, and Jesus has showed us the way and invited us to walk in it. I'm confident that if Jesus walked the earth today, he would enter the red light district of Pune to show love to heartbroken and abused women and offer rescue. I believe he'd be ministering and offering hope to the children in the garbage landfills of Mumbai. And he'd be here in the U.S. seeking to care for the vulnerable, the powerless, and those living in fear, the immigrants and refugees living among us. Friends, he is here, embodied in his church. May we love like Jesus, who fed the hungry, cared for the poor, healed the sick, loved across social and cultural boundaries, protected the vulnerable, and lifted up those on the margins. May we too live like Jesus for God's glory and our neighbor's good.